Watching WISN 12 News this morning.
First this morning, Weather Watch 12. Lindsay, I know that you're tracking some storms. It is pretty humid out there right now, too.
It's muggy. It is sticky out there. The air is very thick, and this is all going to set the stage for a very wet trend for us here over the next couple of days. We've been talking about it. Yesterday was the pick day. We saw temperatures soaring into the upper 80s, and now all train, if you will. So we could get 2 to even 5 inches of rain over the next few days.
Oh, wow. Well, today's a day where you don't want to forget that rain gear. Thank you, Lindsay. We're following breaking news at this hour. A double shooting with one person dead. So this is what it looked like when our photographer first arrived on scene. Police say details are limited at this time, but they say they were called out around 1:40 this morning. We know one person is dead, one person is injured. Police describe that second person's injuries as pretty serious. Circumstances of the shooting are still unknown at this time. We do have a live report from the scene in our next half hour. More breaking news, a drunk driving chase and crash. Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies say they tried to pull over a suspected drunk driver on I-94 East around 3 this morning. They say the car took off, crashing onto a hill at Holly Road. The driver then made a run for it. Several local and state police agencies helped search the area around the VA cemetery and hospital, but did not find him. 4:32 right now, and in just hours, the Milwaukee Brewers will take on the Washington Nationals in the National League Wild Card game. The crew will throw everything but the kitchen sink to come out on top. 12 Sports' Stephen Watson is with the team in the nation's capital.
After a September to remember, it comes down to one game in October. 12 News.
Again, that game is tonight. First pitch is at 7:08 our time. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction right here on WISN 12. Pay to play. California's governor signed a new law that will allow college athletes to profit off of their name and image. But Wisconsin Athletics is saying not so fast.
I'm very concerned with it, and I think it'll affect our game greatly.
UW-Madison Athletic Director Barry Alvarez said Monday he will not schedule California teams because of the new law.
There really needs to be a nationally uniform set of rules that would apply and a workable set. I think what really California is looking to do is kind of push the NCAA in the direction of letting student athletes earn some money.
The law, which is set to take effect in 2023, is a direct violation of NCAA rules. The NCAA says it's currently studying the issue and has previously said universities could face consequences. A Kenosha mother is in jail this morning in connection to a weed vaping ring. She's expected to face a judge today, and Sheldon, she now joins her 2 sons behind bars.
Kenosha County deputies took Courtney Huffines into custody yesterday on charges connected to that massive weed vaping ring that we've been reporting about. Well, earlier this month, deputies arrested her sons, Tyler and Jacob Huffines, on charges that they were running a black market. Afternoon, Eden, that's when we're hoping to learn a little bit more information about what her alleged or possible role might be in this whole operation that is under investigation. Coming up at 5, Eden, we're also going to tell you a little bit more about what was taken from the home when authorities raided it.
All right, we'll continue to follow this case. Thank you, Sheldon. It appears a decision is expected this week on the future of Milwaukee's police chief. Chief Alfonso Morales told WTMJ Radio he'd like to stay on the job.
There's been a conversation between the mayor and I. I'd like to stay. The mayor says, am I interested in staying? But ultimately, it's the Fire and Police Commission's decision, and we'll see what they decide to do. They will be making something public at the end of the week.
Last week, another radio station reported the mayor wanted to replace Morales. However, the mayor told us he wanted Morales to stay. Chief Morales' contract is up at the end of the year. Commitment 2020 election coverage. Adrian, a development in the race for Wisconsin's 5th district.
That's right, Eden. So we're learning that Matt Walker will not run for Congress. The son of former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker tweeted he will not run to replace Republican Jim Sensenbrenner in Wisconsin's 5th congressional district. Congressman Sensen.
All right, so Adrian, who is in the running?
We've heard of a few names so far. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald became the first Republican to jump into the race to replace Sensenbrenner. He also confirmed that with me and up front. Matt Newman, the son of former Congressman Mark Newman, is also considering a run. Democrat Tom Palzowitz also announced he's running. He previously lost to Sensenbrenner in 2018.
All right, so we'll have to continue to follow this. Thank you, Adrian. We're getting a first look at what could soon be the city's tallest building. We just want to show you a few of the designs for the 50-story lakefront skyscraper. The proposal comes from real estate firm Colliers International. The group wants to bring new life to the site located at Clybourne and Lincoln Memorial. The building would include 5,000 parking spaces, an elevated green space, an outdoor entertainment area, and plenty of office space. The building would become the tallest tower in Milwaukee. That looks pretty cool. All right, airport runaway chaos. An out-of-control catering truck nearly struck a plane at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. How the chaos ended. Plus, an American accused of spying for China. Surveillance of the undercover FBI investigation.
10 a.m.
Inches of rain fell overnight, leading to dangerous flash flooding across the area. We're going to take you to the spots hit hardest.
They found an operation that really is incredible.
A massive illegal weed vape cartridge operation exposed. How law enforcement discovered the black market business in Kenosha County. And the Brewers are finally saying how long MVP Christian Yelich will be out for. What the Brewers president had to say about the injury this morning. Hello and welcome to 12 News at 11. I'm Eden Checkle. The big story this morning is the weather. It seems like we've gotten very few breaks from the rain this week.
Yes.
It has led to substantial flooding in some areas. Hannah Hilliard is standing by in Kenosha, which is hit especially hard. She's been there all morning long. But first, meteorologist Sally Severson is tracking even more rain in the forecast.
Yes, low pressure is going to drag a cool front through a little bit later tonight, and it'll bring us another round of rain and a few storms. Not quite as much rain as we've seen over the last few days, but the ground is saturated. We've had rainfall totals coming in between about 2 and almost 5 inches. That just from yesterday. We'll take a look at those rainfall totals coming up, but right now, picture says that hours with the cool front itself. Eden?
All right, got to have your rain gear with you. Thank you, Sal. Well, last night's rain left behind some major flash flooding in Kenosha County, and Hannah Hilliard is live on 38th Street, where you've been monitoring the situation all morning long, Hannah.
Yeah, we've been kind of all over Kenosha County today, and it seems like a lot of the water is receding, except in this trouble spot on 38th Street, not too far from 88th Avenue. Now, they have put up a high water sign. If you see water like this, go ahead and turn around and find a different, drier route. Eden?
Good advice. Something to keep in mind on a day like today. Thank you, Hannah. We are following some breaking news right now. A small airplane crashed onto a car outside of Washington, D.C. These right here are live pictures from Bowie, Maryland, west of the D.C. Beltway. Fire officials say the crash injured 4 people. No word on why the plane crashed. Now the latest in that weed vape bust. Deputies say a Kenosha County man ran a 10-person team that included his brother. Tyler Huffhines is accused of filling thousands of vape cartridges with THC oil. That's the compound in marijuana. Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth says packaging on these cartridges only listed 5 milligrams of THC, when in fact, deputies say they contained 1,000 milligrams. Black market cartridges are what many people believe is sending people across the country to the hospital. Deputies found thousands of them at Huffhines' condo in Bristol last week.
I have no doubt that Mr. Huffhines has sent out thousands of these already, and many of the people hurt very possibly are the cause of this family's willingness to make money at other people's expense.
Investigators say the estimated street value is more than $1.5 million. The woman accused in a high-profile SWAT standoff on I-94 went back in front of a judge today. She's facing new charges for cutting off her GPS bracelet while out on bail. She entered a not guilty plea today for those new bail jumping charges. These are in addition to a lengthy list of felony charges related to the SWAT standoff. An SUV slammed into a Milwaukee home, causing the porch to collapse. So this happened just after 6:30 last night at 20th and Arthur. The homeowner says he heard a loud bang and he thought it was a tree that fell, so he rushed outside.
Came out front and saw this truck under my porch. Asked the occupants if they were all right, which they said they were, and the gentleman that was driving said he had lost control of the vehicle.
A tow truck arrived on the scene to get the SUV out, and that tow truck driver decided to back the car out from the porch. Our camera was rolling when this all happened. Yikes. Well, the homeowner says the driver who crashed into the porch also had a child in the car. Milwaukee police told us there were no arrests, and thankfully nobody was hurt. Only on 12, a Milwaukee teacher is recovering this morning after a suspected drunk driver hit her. This happened Tuesday night just before 5:30. Laura Tyson says she was leaving St. Marcus Lutheran School with her foster son. They'd already crossed North Avenue, and Tyson let her son cross Palmer Street when she saw a car driving erratically towards her. The car ran the stop sign and truck struck it, then pushed into Tyson.
And I didn't even see him get hit. I looked at him and I felt like pressure and blackness, and I just felt like I was floating, and then I woke up.
It was that fast?
It was so fast.
Story that we've shot today.
Tyson only suffered from bruising and swelling. Police say they arrested the driver who caused the crash for OWI, but have not released that driver's name. Multiple people are being laid off at Harley-Davidson. Officials announced the company was restructuring its general merchandise organization, but would not say how many employees were affected. According to our news partners at Biz Times, the department hit by the changes saw declining revenue percentages in each of the past 3 years. You have a chance to help the family of fallen Milwaukee police officer Matthew Rittner today. Lake Auto Group will hold a tailgate party fundraiser for his family. 100% of the money will go to Rittner's widow, Caroline. She's pregnant with the couple's second child and is due next month. The tailgate starts at 5 p.m. at the former Brager Chevrolet near 27th and Plainfield. There will be food, beer, face painting, a bouncy house, and an appearance by the Racing Sausages. New this morning, the Brewers GM and president says Christian Yelich's injury will keep him out for 8 to 10 weeks, and it's not considered serious long term. He shared that update to reporters at the stadium in Miami ahead of today's game. And meanwhile, we asked local surgeons to weigh in on the type of injury the MVP is facing.
I would say the best case scenario is it's a type of a crack that's not displaced. It's a single crack and doesn't need surgery.
Again, the latest update from the Brewers: Yelich is out 8 to 10 weeks and will avoid surgery, wishing him a speedy recovery there. Well, WISN is helping to distribute the backpacks and school supplies our viewers helped us collect. And Lindsay Slater and Sheldon Dutez are live at OW Home School. A very exciting day today, guys.
It sure is possible. So many students here now have the tools that they need to succeed this school year. Back to you.
So wonderful how the community really came together to help these kids out. I loved seeing the video of the kids getting those school supplies. They look so thrilled. Thank you, guys. 11:11 right now. The top Democratic presidential contenders will meet head-to-head tonight. What topics they'll likely tackle and which candidates have the most to lose ahead. Plus, China Lights is back, and we're getting a preview of the much-anticipated return of the Chinese Lantern event. We'll be right back.
Be the first to know when news breaks. Download the WISN 12 News app right now.
Tonight, and we're back with some of this morning's top stories.
Today, President Trump has a call with Jewish faith leaders and will deliver remarks at a Hispanic Heritage Month reception. This as the president is still facing questions about that whistleblower complaint filed over his July call with the leader of Ukraine, where he asked him to investigate rival Joe Biden's family. A live report on the fallout in our next half hour.
The number of vaping-related deaths rose early next year.
It is Friday, September 27th, 2019. 12 News This Morning continues right now.
Leading the way with important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News This Morning.
Just after 6 o'clock on this Friday morning, we're starting this hour with a live look outside. Doesn't look like anything is falling from the sky at this angle, Sal, but we're keeping an eye on it because it's an impact day.
That's right, impact, and mostly for mid to late afternoon, it's steadier and it's heavier.
At least we're getting the rain out of the way today. It'll look nice tomorrow. Thank you, Sal. Traffic Watch 12 now, and a check of your morning commute. Here's Matt Salemi.
Keep an eye on it. Let you know if any problems do pop up.
All right, Bet. Thanks so much.
Now to the Packers-Eagles game. This is not the Lambeau leap we want to see. The Packers suffered their first loss of the season, moving 3-1. A late and tough night for the green and gold.
It sure was. The final score, 34-27, and Eden, this game really came down to the wire.
On second down, in the air, and picked off by Bradham.
With just seconds left.
The Brewers take on the Colorado Rockies today. Milwaukee beat Cincinnati 5-3 yesterday afternoon to sweep the Reds. The Brewers now trail the St. Louis Cardinals by just one game in the division race. And if they win the division, they won't have to play in the wild card game. The wild card game is on Tuesday. The Brewers would host it if they can beat out or tie the Washington Nationals for the top wild card spot. Tickets, by the way, for the wild card game go on sale online at 9 o'clock this morning. The Brewers say there are limited tickets for the postseason, so you'll want to act fast.
We have already pre-sold a significant amount of tickets for the next rounds, if we are lucky enough to be participating in those next rounds, to our season seat holders. And we will have dates Tuesday and Wednesday of next week where we're going to open up Division Series tickets.
The Brewers say the best way to guarantee postseason tickets is to secure a 2020 season ticket package. Again, today's sale for the wild card game single game tickets are online at brewers.com/postseason. Right now, a fundraiser for the family of a Milwaukee woman and mom shot and killed in the middle of the street.
Let's check back in with Hannah Hilliard. She's live in Cudahy, where people are buying baked goods to show their support for the family.
Yeah, good morning, Sheldon.
Hannah, if people want to get involved in this fundraiser, how can they do so?
Well, it's pretty simple. Jen's Sweet Treats just opened here at 6 o'clock this morning. It'll stay open until 6 o'clock at night. You can come in, grab some, any of these goodies that they have in the case here. They also have a donation bucket ready to go for anyone else who wants to throw an additional change into the bucket. Again, 100% of the sales go to the family. And they also are having a burger and brat fry starting at 11 o'clock today that also runs until 6. So lots of ways to come show your support.
Yeah, plenty of ways to help out. Thank you, Hannah.
Jen is so thoughtful. She does so much for so many people in our community. Tip our hats to her this morning. The local unit.
A vaping clash in Congress involving a Michigan congresswoman and a Wisconsin radio host.
Are you a conspiracy theorist? I think my politics are entirely irrelevant to this hearing.
Oh, okay. Why were you winking at one of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle? You winked.
Because I know Glenn Grothman.
Oh, that's what so the winking, did he
introduced me.
Oh,
he's a friend of mine.
Okay, understand. Something like a conspiracy.
That's Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib and WISN conservative radio host Vicki McKenna. She was invited by Republicans to testify earlier this week to talk about how vaping helps her quit smoking.
Is a health miracle to me.
I was the only person there defending the technology, the e-cigarette technology.
McKenna sat alongside several health officials who were warning about the dangers of vaping.
Well, there is an effort underway to legally separate real cheese from processed chocolate syrup. I haven't had chocolate milk in a long time.
I was going to say, are you a fan of it? Same, not a fan.
Okay, we can agree on something.
I'm being honest.
We can agree on it. All right, beef about the bathroom on board a plane.
The potty policy had this guy so upset, it forced the pilot to make an emergency landing.
And why the creator of the Labradoodle says the breed is a Frankenstein monster. Want to hear your take on this? We'll explain.